everyone. Today now we'll be talking about the budgets and return on investments, right? So now, as we say, marketing always embraces the back to basics concepts. That means the very thing that matters a lot is the cost. So as this journey of buying the goods and services onto the digital platform continues, we have to look on to the budget allocations and how it is being prioritized over different marketing capabilities, right? So when we talk about the budget matters a lot because it is basically the cost, and the budgets you need to put them in a certain manner that out of your total budget, how much of the same you want to put it towards the investments, how much of the same you want to put it towards, let's suppose, the human resource management, how much of the same towards the campaign creation. So that basically you have to look into that how you would be putting up your funds, right? So as per Gartner report 2022, it says the major three top investments for any CMO of the firm are your campaign creation and management, which is almost 10.1%. Then comes the brand strategy, which is somehow hovering around 9.7%. Marketing operations 9.6%. So these are the indicators by the Gartner, and it basically tells you that the return to marketing's core value proposition is to build awareness and engagement with the compelling brand marketing and effective campaigns that connect with the customers to deliver results. So basically यहाँ पर आपका मतलब ये है कि आप कितना पैसा किस जगह पर you'll be focusing on to or you'll be investing into. तो जो most of the funds is going, it is going towards your campaign creation and management. यानी कि as per the reports also and otherwise often seen through the surveys that yes, the major chunk of the marketing trend, it goes towards this campaign management, right? Now, what is the point is that you have to see into that how much of your budget recommendation the company can constantly or consistently include into its advertising spend. For example, HBR says that okay, 7 to 15% in marketing spend is ideal, right? If you have seen that okay, there being an incoming revenue flow, so 7 to 15% of the same is okay, right? But major thing is that 7 to 15% में कितना होगा, that depends firm to firm. Whether you are a small scale operator, whether you are a one which is a micro unit, or you are a one which is having just a negligible share of funds with them, right? So you would look on to those channels where the cost as much as possible the lowest, right? Because you have to indulge your amount into number of things, so you would see accordingly. And often seen, as you can see onto your screens, that marketing spending over the years, it has grown and grown enormously. That means that there has been a jump into the marketing spending, right? And the company is spending more and more onto your digital campaigns. So आजकल क्या है, जितनी भी companies हैं, they are trying जितना ज़्यादा हो सके वो digital marketing campaigns पे आपका spend करें. जितने भी टाइप का आपका ब्रांड इमेज करने के लिए जितने भी सोशल मीडिया चैनल्स हैं उनके के लिए प्रोफाइल्स क्रिएट करें, ब्रांड के बिजनेस पेज जनरेट करें, एंड द कंपनी विल ऑल्सो मेक श्योर कि इट इज हैविंग अ प्रॉपर वेबसाइट वेयर द कस्टमर कैन सी ऑन टू द कंटेंट of the brand, right? Now, marketing spend as a percentage of your revenue is always fluctuating, and basically it hovers between your 6.5% to 8.5%, and the major share of the same, it comes from the business to customer services and then being followed by the business to customer product. So basically it means that the share of marketing spending is rising over the time, and they are spending more towards the digital platform, right? And basically the core segment where this entire spending is moving up is your business to customer, right? Because business to customer is a major, sort of your business model where all your sort of transactions are taking place. Now you can also look onto this formula of return on your, ad spending. So whatever spending you are creating on putting onto one particular advertisement, you would see that how much of the money you are getting back from putting that much advertising amount, right? So let's suppose अगर आपने 2 लाख और 3 लाख रुपीस इन्वेस्ट करें एडवर्टीजमेंट के ऊपर, तो उससे आपका कितना रिटर्न निकल कर आ रहा है वो आपको देखना होगा. और वो आप कैसे चेक करेंगे? वो आप बेसिकली देखते हैं कि मेरा एडवर्टीजमेंट आने से पहले सेल्स क्या था, एडवर्टीजमेंट आने के बाद मेरी जो रेवेन्यूज है उसमें कितना जंप हुआ है, एंड थ्रू दैट यू कैन सिंपली गॉज इनटू that what has been the impact of the advertisement spending onto the revenue of the firm. So that is one way of administering the return onto the advertisements, right? Further on, why these budgets are that much crucial or that much needed is through these budgets you can see into whether you are supposed to park more of your funds into the advertisement campaigns or not, right? या फिर आपका बिना किसी एडवर्टीजमेंट कैंपेन्स के अंदर और फंड इंडल्ज किए हुए इट इज गोइंग गुड. सो दैट मीन्स यू हैव टू लुक इनटू दैट व्हाट इज द बेस्ट, राइट, फॉर एनी organization, for any firm. So that ways you will look on to the things, right? Another factor is when we are preparing these budgets, we have seen that there has been a jump into the share of the mobile marketing, right? Why mobile marketing? Because mobile is majorly penetrated into the Indian market, and you would see a lot of investment has been made towards this mobile marketing because this is very portable thing, right? You need not to connect it to a device which is a PC or which is a laptop, right? You can simply see onto all of the things or the content onto your smartphone, right? What you all need is a smartphone and a good internet connectivity. And marketers know very well that this is the best thing to tap onto, right? Because no matter what, whether the customer is looking into the laptop or PC, connected to the PC or not, but he or she will always be connected to the mobile phones. So you see all of those advertisements coming on to your social media applications, whether any of the social media platforms that you use, whether you use the email marketing, you will see that all of your advertisements now happens through that route. So now the mobile marketing, it has grown to such a point that it is being considered by each and every marketer, right? Further on, digital marketing is actually pacing. It's actually, rising. Reason being that there being a growth, compounded annual growth rate between this year time period of 16 to 21, often around 11%. And the greatest or the biggest, component contributing towards the growth is your online videos. So whatever investment is being put into these paid searches or the display advertisements or the social media advertisements, online video advertisement campaigns or the email marketing, it is predicted that the share of them will rise to almost 46% over the time period, right? So basically we can see on to that every firm is predicting the impact of digital marketing onto their sales revenue, and accordingly they are putting up their funds and investments to the digital marketing campaigns and managing the same, right? And the normal the thing is like that there always a segregation between a new company and an established company. So if we talk about a new company, they basically have to put in a greater share of the funds towards the advertisement campaigns, Whereas when we talk about an established company, they comparatively will always spend a lesser share towards their advertisement campaigns. Now, what is the reason is? See, basically, let's suppose two companies are there. Company A, which is established one, company B, which is, let's suppose, a new company. Now, this company A has to set up the entire digital infrastructure, right? It has to create its market presence. It has to create its brand image, brand value in the market. So that is why, in order to create that awareness among the customers, so that they are aware about what all is majorly being whether this advertisement is able to generate that interest of the customers or not. For the same, they need to put in or flush in a great amount of funds, right? क्योंकि क्या होगा, आप हमेशा देखते हैं कोई भी नई ब्रांड होती है वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एडवर्टीजमेंट करती है. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एडवर्टीजमेंट आप उसकी सोशल मीडिया पर भी एडवर्टीजमेंट देखेंगे, टेलीविजन के ऊपर, रेडियो नेटवर्क्स के ऊपर, बिलबोर्ड्स के ऊपर. रीज़न क्या है कि उसको अपना मार्केट प्रेजेंस एस्टैब्लिश करना है, राइट? दे वांट टू एस्टैब्लिश their market presence. They want to make sure that the very information about their entry into the market, into that particular segment, has reached out to the concerned people or the concerned segment where they are targeting upon the most. So that's the most important thing. That is why every new company, and as I was giving you this example of a new company B, it will definitely put in a greater share of their funds into the advertisement campaigns. Similarly, if we talk about the established company, they will put in a lesser amount of, as compared to a newer company, they will put in a lesser amount of their funds into the media campaigns, because now they have set what is, they have already established their brand image and the brand value in the market. Now they want to create that retention in the mind of the consumers, and that retention can only be created if time and again you send those nudges to the customer that this is a brand and it is doing these efforts in order to improvise the same. So that is why we say that there being a major difference into the amount of spending being spent by both your a new company or an established one. Now, talking further, when it comes to digital marketing, we refer to it as a inbound marketing, and your traditional mode of your marketing is being considered and being classified as outbound marketing, right? And we have certain expenses that are directly related to your inbound marketing, that is your digital marketing, and your outbound marketing. So here is a list which talks about the inbound marketing expenses. It says for the digital marketing thing, you need to have a proper website. You need to have a landing page and then to develop the page on and on. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आपने वेबसाइट बनानी है and then the task is completed. No, you have to update with the recent products. You have to update it with maybe, let's suppose, new filters, with the payment options, with the customer feedback options, right? Or let's suppose to create a community blog out there onto the website itself. So that ways you need to always sort of develop your pages, and the most important of them is your landing page. The minute you open the website, you land onto the very landing page, the very first page. So that's known as the landing page of the website. So what sort of content should be displayed onto your landing page, that also needs the development. And if it needs to be developed, that means uske upar aapka expenses lagega, right? Then you have to see whether we talk about, let's suppose this and this company is sending the emails to the customers. So that email nurturing or automation generation system hota uska, right? So that's also the related expenses of your inbound marketing. Then there you number of times you see the survey forms, number of times you see those buyer persona development and research programs. And so these may be the different sort of your inbound marketing expenses, which also include, let's suppose, the content marketing plan, that what is the content that you need to show. So you need to develop the content, and then comes the role of your content writers, that they'll be writing such stuff which is required into the market. So content writing is happening, right, and you need to pay them up because you need to update your this web portal. Similarly, in case you want to align the search engine result page with your website content, so you need to go for search engine optimization and the strategies with respect to the same. And for the same, again, you need to devote a certain funds for this very segment. Similarly, companies go for video publishing, telling the consumers about how the product can do wonders to the customers, how the product is useful, providing demo or installation videos of the same, providing them feedbacks, creating those weekly bloggings, or you could say creating those video blogs, so that the customer is aware. Then you have to review the content, and as we discussed that analytical thing can only happen through your key parameter indicators. That means you will use these metrics to analyze on to, okay, that these many customers have visited the web page, right, they have shown to interest towards the web page, these many have been the lead, this is what is your cost per lead, this is what your customer acquisition rate, this is your customer retention rate, and this is your customer lifetime value. So based on to your expenses and the related key parameter indicators that you get through various metrics, you come to know about that this is what has been the whether it has been beneficial for you or the cost is in getting out of your pocket only. So that is, you can review the analytical component of the same, and also altogether you have to take care that the firm is having a good reputation into the market, so that that simultaneously on a parallel note, that online reputation management thing is always being done. And furthermore, you have those consultancy fees that are to be paid to the people concerned, right? So you can see onto your screens that inbound marketing expenses can be categorized as your 12-month marketing plan, buyer persona development and research that we discussed, landing page development, calls to action, email nurturing, automation, survey forms, contact building and segmentation, content marketing plan, your search engine strategies and optimization, social media strategies and optimization, weekly blogging, video publishing, reviewing analytics, KPIs, online reputation management, and consultancy agency fee. So these are some of the expenses that I have highlighted over here, that these are the expenses that are related to your inbound marketing. Similarly, when we talk about your website management or website maintenance expenses, you have expenses with respect to the user interface that you need to prepare, the wireframing of the pages, you need to spend the amount onto the website copywriting, on creating those content, on creating a design of the product or design of the website, on creating any, let's suppose, question and answer segment onto your website. So that is, see, whatever tabs there are onto the website, every tab is having a corresponding expense. So it is not like you create a website and you put on to whatever content, you have to see accordingly, right? So that is why there is a website building and maintenance expenses also. You have consultancy fees also with respect to website building. You have site hosting and domain hosting fees also. You have to see whether the application is or the website is working perfectly onto the mobile phones or not. So you see for the responsive website development, you see for the mockups, you see for the responsive mobile testing, and let's suppose any existing content is there, that is also easily transition to this digital portal, right? Similarly, if we talk about pay-per-click model, so what are those expenses? Those are with respect to you floating advertisements onto various, platforms, be into your social media platforms, or paying it to the performance reviews or the recommendations or to the referrals, or to, plan out the campaign, or providing those consultancy fees, right? So that ways there are number of expenses. It doesn't go like that ways. If you're talking about a proper business ecosystem of a company or a business model which is purely a e-business model, there goes a lot of cost behind. It's not like it's always, a free model. No. For the starters, for anyone who is new to the segment, they can just simply start by opening up, page onto any social media application, which is very, literally free of cost. All you need is a smartphone and the internet, and then you can say upon yes, done. You can float your content, you can put onto your videos, and so on. Another way is where the big business houses, pure e-business models, they are having the websites, they are having the applications. So in that case, they have a heavy, cost that goes underneath. That is why, they charge accordingly, right? Now, when we talk about traditional media expenses, let's suppose digital media, we have already discussed the inbound expenses, and in case of your traditional media expenses, we have to spend a lot of amount onto, those distributing flyers, brochures, pamphlets to the people, so that the local people are aware about the product. Have you ever seen that, a store is opening nearby your periphery, and they do what is, whenever you go through that place, or you would see there are flyers lying onto your place, or there will be flyers onto the market where they are distributing those flyers or the brochures or the pamphlets of the brand, right? Or they'll send you those, paper inserts or advertisements into the newspapers also. They'll advertise about the product into the conferences, seminars, events, right? They'll display the product onto the television, radio channels, billboards, or big those banners, right? So those were the traditional media expenditures that the firm has to expend towards creating awareness about the product. So that ways we can see upon, that is why it is very crucial to design your budget accordingly, right? And obviously it matters with, it changes with that at what scale the company or the you could say small scale service provider, or the the person is providing those goods, so at what scale they are operating. So that ways you have to devise your budget, because you have to look into that you are not paying enough towards the advertising, right? There needs to be an ideal segment that we discuss as per the reports by HBR or Gartner even, right? So you need to be very careful about when putting in your funds towards the advertisement campaigns, right? Obviously they are going to generate a great you could say revenues or the sales for the firm, but again, how much of the budget should be indulged towards that segment is to be very carefully thought upon, right? And it was being done in case of your traditional media also. But when we talk about those big business models which are operating onto the e-platforms, in that case, as I have explained, that there goes a lot of cost underneath. So accordingly, they will refine their pricing strategies, they will make their marketing strategies, so that they are having a good return onto the ad spending that they have done. And that we have seen that how return on ad spending we can gauge into the same using different parametrics, right? So that ways this provides a clear description onto that it's okay that you are using either of the platforms, but you have to see the underneath cost and the revenues related to the same. Whether you are going for the traditional media or you are going for the digital media, you need to run those comparative analysis. Then only you can understand, okay, the one is more beneficial than the second one, right? So for those comparative analysis, you need to see onto the things very carefully, and that is why the budgets and that is why these metrics, they matter a lot. So today's segment is all about gauging into the performance of the firm, using various metrics, or looking into the budgets and its allocation and how much of the same should be allocated towards different heads. So those things, if anyone who is budding entrepreneur, they really need to carefully look onto the same before simply floating the stuff or parking their amount or budgets into one segment. So that's a very careful, thoughtful decision. So my advice onto the same would be, carefully look onto the underneath expenses, the direct and the indirect expenses, before taking a decision with respect to budget allocation, right? Because that will be really grateful to you. So we have discussed all sort of your metrics, we have discussed about your budgets, and also in the previous segments we have discussed about the traditional marketing, right, its tactics, its models. So in case of any queries, you can just comment on to the same, and thank you and have a good day.